Okay, so let's start writing some sort of functional tests, and these are different from unit tests. They're really called, I guess, integration tests. But to do this, let's go into that project and create a test folder, and we're going to touch tests slash index.rs. And this is going to have an fn main, and let builder equal what's it called, server : build, and register error handler. That's fine. Dot register handler. Let's see if Copilot will help me out with this. Hello handler, that's fine. Dot finalize, and we're going to listen on 127. Sorry, 127.0.0.1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have 4. Import Craig request, Craig handler, and we need an fn hello handler. That's good. Certainly can thank Copilot for that. And be challenging to do that by hand. So now let's run cargo. If I just run cargo next test run, we get a much cleaner, I think, version of our tests. Actually says it's running one test. Is it not going to run integration tests? It's interesting, because if I just run cargo test in here, it's going to run that test there, and it's running this test. Oh, it's because I don't have a test here. fn test index, and we have to tag that with test. Now we can run cargo next test run. So it's running these two tests, and I liked using next test because it's much more compact. In that, like, this output is going to, and even if I'm at this top level here, it's going to consolidate the test. If I run cargo test at this top level, I have to go through the entire list to figure out what happened. So much prefer running next test. It's cleaner, more complete. So how are we going to do this? This is actually going to be a server, because that's going to be a result server object. I want to run cargo add. We're going to make this a dev, and we're going to make this anyhow, because I want to use anyhow result. Much prefer using anyhow results for everything that I do. And most of my tests are set up this way, and this way I can use question mark to bubble up the errors. So now cargo next test. Let's run cargo watch -x next test, and that'll run this continuously. Nope. Next test R. Come on, keyboard. There we go. So we have a server, it's bound, it's listening, sort of. If we run, so we kind of have to spawn the server in another thread. And this is where I much prefer using, I'm going to do this anyway because this is going to help me, but I'm not going to convert this. So I'm going to cargo add dev Tokyo features full. And let's just let that cook. We're going to let that build. And instead of test here, we're going to run, well, that ran really fast, Tokyo test. And we're going to make this async, which is not going to change anything yet. I also want to add to dev reqwest. And that's going to let me use the request library to actually make requests to the server that we're instantiating. And we can do that inside of our integration tests as well. Now, I want to run a Tokyo. There's a blocking task. Spawn blocking, which is going to do this, and we're going to run the server in our own blocking task. It's probably going to take, oh, we need to move. Good. Nice. And it says the test failed. Why did the test fail? Server creation address already in use. Is that just a fluke? Yeah, it was sort of. So we're running now. Server join abort. Do we have to wait on that? I don't think we have to wait. So this at least now runs the server. We're getting this address already in use error. And the reason is that like this starts and stops sort of really fast, like fast enough, or it's running in the same process that, oh, I know why. It's because this server here is stomping on our other server because the next test is going to run all the tests in parallel, and we're binding on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and we're binding on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. We could solve that several ways. One is to run the test sequentially or serially so that we don't run any tests at the same time. We could change this to listen on a different address, and that will work, but I don't want to keep creating a different unique address. Resolving that's going to be a different issue. I wanted to just get this in play where we're getting our request here. So the spawn blocking is, if you look at the docs for this, it's going to run the closure on a thread where this is actually going to block. It's going to be a CPU intensive one, and it's actually going to block in there. So we spawn this on a special task, but we treat this as an actual task. It's not actually a task, but it allows us to create and abort it while still working inside of the Tokio runtime context. Now what I want to do is create a request and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. Is that going to work? Oh, it does work. So this gives me a response, and I want to assert that the status is success. And does it work? We're blocked. So either it's just a little fluke here, which, I mean, if it's a fluke and it fails, it's a failure, right? And we don't know where. But like this is something that we're like, given this sort of pattern that we have here, to set up the server, to run the server, and then to attempt to get a value from the server, this should succeed, and it's not. And I'm really curious why. So we're going to have to perhaps explore that in the next video. Just looking at this in the web browser, we do get this 404 response. And if I run get hello, we get an invalid HTTP response. So it looks like our handler is not working right. And that's sad. But let's fix that in the next one. We do get the 404 right. I'm guessing that's right. But let's look at that and get it to the point where we're able to make this work for real. So I'll see you in that next video.